Hyperthyroidism is a disorder of an overactive thyroid. Cushing's is a disorder of too many steroids. Giantism in children and acromegaly is for adults is a disorder of overproduction of the growth hormone. An underactive thyroid. For an underactive thyroid, you would want to increase iodine in the diet. And the doctor would also order levothyroxine, also known as Synthroid. Now, if the patient continues to gain weight on levothyroxine, this may indicate that the medication dosage is too little. So, one of the symptoms of hypothyroidism is weight gain associated with an increased appetite, decreased appetite, but continuous weight gain. So, if you are on levothyroxine and you are continuously gaining weight, this could indicate that the medication is not enough and may need to be increased. So what is the hormone in the anterior pituitary that stimulates the adrenal cortex to produce steroids? This would be the ACTH hormone, which is the adrenocorticotropic hormone. That tells the adrenal cortex to release steroids, which are the mineralocorticoids and the glucocorticoids. The mineralocorticoids is the aldosterone, and the glucocorticoids is the body's natural cortisol. The aldosterone reabsorbs the sodium, and when you are reabsorbing sodium, puts you at risk for hypokalemia, which is losing potassium or not enough potassium. So the reason that this happens is because sodium and potassium works on like a balance scale. So when you have an excessive amount of sodium, you end up losing potassium. So when you have an excessive amount of potassium, you end up losing sodium. So they balance each other out on levels like a balance scale. So what should a patient never do when taking steroids, which are the glucocorticoids, which is the body's natural cortisol? So when taking steroids, it is very important to never abruptly stop taking steroids. Steroids must be tapered off if you're going to stop taking steroids. If this happens, the adrenal cortex is at risk for shutting down, which will stop the production of steroids, which are the mineralocorticoids, which is the aldosterone, and the glucocorticoids, which is the cortisol. And then this will increase blood glucose levels and inhibit inflammation and the immune response. We need our body's natural steroids to regulate these processes and these responses, which is why we cannot disrupt the adrenal cortex and why we should never start or stop abruptly taking steroids. So if you start steroids, you don't want to abruptly stop taking them because you then throw off the adrenal cortex, which is in charge of producing the body's natural steroids, which is the mineralocorticoids and the glucocorticoids for the aldosterone and the cortisol. And if you shut those down, which are in charge of the body's immune responses and inflammatory responses, you put the body at risk for not producing the steroids. So in order to not have that happen, you should taper the body off the steroids so that the body can slowly start to produce the natural steroids again on their own. Very important to never just abruptly stop taking steroids.